All right, we are good to go, which means I can turn this off. There we go. No idea how long we're gonna go for, but we are going. Today's gonna be a pretty important thing that I wanted to cover for some time. All right. Is there a way to increase the font size on this? That's way too big. This should work overall. All right, yeah. Sounds good. So we have our type of items here. Keith, it has been a while, but welcome. I hope you're doing fantastic. It's been a very, very hectic month, to say the least. But it's also been a hectic, like, half a year. The last couple months have been wild, but last week specifically was my birthday week, so I kind of took it off. Every day I'd spend it with a different group of friends that wanted to go out, so there was a bit of off the grid. Alright, so for today, I want to essentially create kind of like a formulaic process for making homebrew items, but what I really want to focus on first is going over like weapon properties. So that's the first thing we'll do. Let's zoom in. Let's bring it by weapons over here. Okay, that should work. Essentially, the idea is that if we go to D&D, 1 second, I'll pull it up. Okay. There might be a quick way to look it up. Weapon properties. Okay, this right here might have it. Oh, whoops. I opened the wrong thing. Let me close that. And, okay. Sorry, I had to fix it. This is not what I'm looking for. There we go. Okay, here it is. Essentially right here. So there's already some weapon properties that the game has. The idea is that sometimes when we create homebrew items, they don't really fit in this category, but we can also kind of make our own categories for some cool fantasy flavor. So we'll kind of hold this as a guide to see what's already there and then add on to it. That should be it. Okay, so for example, the first one we can do is like the returning property. I'm gonna zoom in here and then lower the. Let's put some space, underline. Okay. First one we could do is returning. Nope. Question is, so pretty much the idea with the returning property is that the weapon can literally like teleport back to your hands. Eldritch Knights kind of have this. It's kind of cool to put on like a javelin that a character can throw and have it come back instead of like retrieving it. Thing is that we want to decide is how far can it go for them to bring it back. But pretty much a weapon with a returning property can return to these owner's hands as a, should we do it as a bonus action? That's pretty fair. So long as it hasn't, well, do we mind if it's traveled quite far? I think we do, because again, whenever you do stuff in D&D, you always want to consider what's already there so you don't step on anything's toes. Eldritch Knight fighters, I believe they have the sole unique benefit of bringing their weapon back from anywhere. Let us make sure. Yeah, as long as it's in the same plane of existence. So let's put a range limit on it. As long as it hasn't traveled, let's say over a mile. That being said, for this to work, it does need to require attunement so that it links to the soul. Did I forget the N? Attune. Oh my goodness. Only when you do this do you realize how bad you are at spelling. Sometimes, whenever you guys have this problem, but like I could spell the word if I like erase the whole thing and then go back to it. Instead of like I can't like edit it midway. I have to take out the whole thing and put it in. Javelin of Lightning more or less already has this. Should we desire hard reference? We could check it out by the Javelin of Lightning. When you hurtle and speed, the command transforms to a bolt of lightning. Okay, it turns back into a javelin, reaches the target. Sounds good. So it looks like this doesn't come back to you is the issue, though. Right? Am I missing something? Turns back into a javelin, reaches its target, but doesn't say anything about it coming back to the user's hand. But that is exactly where this property would be really, really cool. Hold up, I gotta close some tabs that I have opened. I think the music is a little too loud. There we go. Yeah. Got you. Missed the returning not being a thing on it. But, I mean, that's exactly where this property would be really nice. For anyone who kind of wants to be a character that, like, is able to throw a javelin or throw their axe and get it to come back to them. Essentially like Thor's hammer. I think returning, having it be a mile is very generous because the idea is that pretty much most times it can come back to you, so it's not gonna screw it over. But it's not so much that Eldritch Knights don't have like a unique benefit to it. Oh, like the Dwarven Thrower Hammer? Is that a thing too? Let's check it out. Dwarven Thrower Hammer. Also random guy, welcome. Okay, so it has the thrown property with a normal range when you hit using a weapon immediately after. Yes, so this is perfect. Already right there what it is. And I wish this was a property like in D&D that usually says returning, and that's something that you can like tag in a weapon. But that's why we're creating it here. So the idea is like whenever we create a homebrew weapon, we can slap on the returning property, and that way players will know like that's what it does. With that, I think this is good. They attune to it, comes back to them, they use it as a... Well, I guess this is the question. Do you guys think it's too powerful if it automatically comes back to them if they throw it? This is a very rare. Very rares are not, like, usually crazy powerful. I'm personally cool with it, honestly, so... Actually, we could just keep it as a bonus action, and that way, if they are ever disarmed, it can still come to them. Yeah, okay, so what I know is that some weapons, what they do is that they essentially use boomerang logic. You throw it and it comes back to where it got thrown, versus the weapon coming back to the person it's attuned to. And I think that could be the separation with it. So it'll still be a bonus action, but the idea is if the weapon's like, if a guard took it away, someone got robbed it got disarmed, whatever it is, you can use your bonus action to kind of have it come to you. Alright. Another one we could do is lifesteal. This is something that I've always thought would be kind of nice. And I've put it on a couple of homebrew weapons. I just obviously haven't found a tag for it. Question is, could we call it something else? Lifesteal is pretty on the nose. But it is kind of a perfect word in itself. I know some games, like, I know WoW has, like, Leech, and that's supposed to be, like, essentially your lifesteal. Other options could be absorbing, devouring. Actually, devouring, I know for something else I wanted to do, which is ruin or devouring or devour. I'll just write this one right now. Essentially, any creature killed by a weapon oh my god. I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry. Any creature, I spelled that wrong as well. Any creature killed by a weapon with this property is unable to be revived unless with a wish or true resurrection spell. Oh yeah. This is can be a cool weapon as well. Siphoning, that's a really good one. I like that a lot. Siphoning. Okay. Any hits with this property return a quarter of damage dealt as healing. I'm gonna say as temporary HP to kind of keep it balanced, keep healers relevant. But it is a quarter, which isn't bad. But we'll keep it as temporary HP for now. Possibly discuss just making it permanent healing, which I'm not exactly opposed to. Okay, so Rune and Devour Blades. Thought of these as essentially something that if a player or an NPC is killed by it, a simple resurrection spell will not be able to revive them. It is meant to be a pretty rare property to put on a weapon, but it does allow for really good explanations of why sometimes a character will be dead. Sometimes with D&D, with how easy it is to revive people, it kind of becomes an issue where it's like, oh, hey, you're dead, but not really, because you can easily just bring them back. Question is, I feel like there's another word that might be better. And this is kind of the fun part, is finding that perfect word. Darn it, I'm late. No worries, nothing. As long as you're here at some point, we're always happy to have you. I think Devour sounds kind of nice. Like devouring. I think the next one could be Indestructible. Well, work made me late. Hope it was good though. No worries. We only started about like 10 minutes ago. So this weapon is not to be repaired or managed. Only be destroyed through a ritual. So, the reason why I talk about this is one of the coolest things ever was kind of like Lord of the Rings, where you had to bring the ring to Mount Doom to destroy it. Hold up, sorry, I was checking something. Yeah, so I really like that idea, and I think that can be kind of cool with this. Is that if there's a property of indestructible on a weapon, pretty much the weapon cannot break, but there is going to be a ritual for each weapon, essentially, that they would have to undergo to fully destroy it. So, the party happens to come across an extremely powerful cursed blade, and they decide they don't want to use it, and they want to destroy it. They gotta take it somewhere to get it destroyed. What did you review? I didn't review anything. I'm gonna leave the review to a couple streams later, just because I was gone for a while, so I don't expect everyone to be able to jump in immediately right back. So right now we're just kind of doing some homebrew creation. We're creating weapon properties. Yeah, not reviewing it this time. So the next thing we could do is elemental. I think I'm tired of saying like a weapon of this property or weapon. I think I should just kind of say the point and not make it redundant. Upon speaking a command word is imbued Oh yeah, elemental is very simple. Speak a command word and, you know, it lights up on fire, lights up on... let's say it lasts for 1 minute. Actually, let's just say it's just there permanently. It's gonna keep like a sword that's always on fire, always has lightning. Okay, I got one. Create more curses. I always think they're fun, but how about a backfire one? When that hurts you if you fail to hit a target for full damage, acting like a crit hit on you if you roll a 1. Failing to hit a target for full damage is gonna be most scenarios. I think it's too punishing. But I mean, I do think where your mind's at, having like a cursed property is actually really cool. The thing about it is we can go a lot of different ways with curse. Like everyone loves the idea of a cursed blade. The question is, how exactly do we want to do a cursed blade? Oh, it hits you for full damage if you miss. Ooh. That's very brutal. So... I mean, we could easily put it in as a thing. I wouldn't call it cursed. I feel like we can do something else with cursed. It crits if you roll a 1. I just know personally from my experience, I would never use a weapon like that. Nobody else. Most players that I've seen, anytime the DM has given them a weapon that usually has a high chance to backfire, they usually just sell it. But I mean, it's definitely something we kind of throw in. Just kind of as like a... definitely a bad property to have. We should have some. That is a good point. Congrats on 700. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I am very, very, very happy. It feels so wild. Kind of yesterday feels like I was hovering around like 15, 20 subs. So it is crazy to see that number kind of jump up relatively to what it is. Okay, so nothing. If you want to think of a name or anyone else in chat for something that has that property, but I don't want to cut it cursed. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, pretty much, right? How about we say karmic? I think Karmic can kind of be good. And it's already going to be a gamble, so let's have it do something when you do hit. And when you miss, it damages you. Call it backfiring weapon, making it a hidden attribute that this... essentially disguises itself unless identified as casted on it. It also binds to the wearer until dispel magic is used. I feel like backfiring would always make it a negative, and so people wouldn't use it, but if we make it a little karmic, then they might be inclined to use it. So pretty much on a successful hit, I mean, very simple right now. Oh, I just realized chat's kind of hiding it, or hiding the chat. Let me throw this here for now. Okay, very simply what we could do right now is that on a successful hit, it does 1 additional damage, and on a miss, it does 1 weapon dice to you. It's not too bad. It's like, hey, if this is like a D8, or you put it on a D12, just roll it. It is only negative. It's for players who accidentally pick it up. Yeah. Is a cursed weapon meant to be bad? Sure, sure. So, backfiring. All right, there we go. All right, so cursed. I think there already was cursed. Like, there's obviously cursed blades in D&D. The thing is that it's very vague, and so I think they intentionally didn't put it as a weapon property. Because one, I mean, telling someone that a weapon's cursed immediately is going to make them kind of get... by the way, did you get to make all those homebrew classes? Not all of them. We've completed... completed a good amount, but we have not finished those. At some point we will. We'll take it one step at a time. Okay, we'll come back to curse. We know we want it to be a thing, but we'll come back to it. Okay, one thing that we could do is the serrated property. So kind of like serrating the edge. Serrated blade. I mean, curse is in the item thing, like the lodestone, which is a rare item in D&D. Oh yeah, I figured. This cursed is separate from the backfiring thing that you were talking about. But quarter of the weapon damage as additional. Backfiring is supposed to be a curse. Yeah. Yes, it is. But I'm saying, like, I have a different idea for what cursed can be. And so we'll have backfiring be its own thing. It is like essentially a curse on a sword. But I want a cursed sword to be something like much more of like a exotic property, if that makes sense. Curse channeling. While attuned to this weapon and concentrating on a spell, you have +2 to all your ability checks. You also have a -5 penalty to concentration saving throws. Oh. So it kind of like messes up with your channeling. It's very specific to spellcasting is the issue. So like if a fighter happens to get the curse channeling, like that's how it goes, then it wouldn't do anything for them. But I think that is still something we can put on like a staff or a wand, so it still works. It's not a bad one. We can call it, you know, I think that one could work. So I think the best thing we can kind of do is blessings and curses. We're going to essentially divide up which one's which into their own things. So I have an idea here. Put that over there for now. Okay, so that way what we're going to do is we are going to grab what nothing put. We're going to put it in this one. And so essentially we have a category between our good ones and our bad ones, if that makes sense. And we'll call them blessings and curses, if that makes sense. Okay, so then the other one we could put here now then is cursed channeling. And if I grab what Keith said, we can do it like that. Okay. Let me grab all these and move them up. I quite like that. Or maybe it could permanently debuff the user, but also debuff anything it hits. So maybe the cursed item can roll an extra dice to choose the debuff for anyone who touches it. So how do you want it to debuff? I think is the important question with it. One thing we could put, I guess devouring would technically count as a cursed one. Same thing with siphoning. It's essentially more thought of as like forbidden ones that are not sort of accepted versus hold up. Is this a good idea? Vibrant? Oh, like vibrating. A weapon that constantly blurs itself moving rapidly. When hitting an enemy, they take additional 1 thunder damage for the next... Yeah, no, that one's actually really cool. For the next 2d4 turns and halves the amount of healing gained. Those who are hit are stack damage. The second part is a little too powerful for having the healing. I feel like we can put that on kind of like a... if anything, in the siphoning one, or making it like a poison property. I feel like that could be in its own thing of like negating healing, but the first one sounds awesome. I think that one could just be kind of a blessing. Is there a different word we can use than vibrate? Vibrate. Let's see. We can call it quaking, pulsing. What else could we use? Trembling, I guess. Any of these could work. It's really up to us to decide which one we like. But also more of you nothing if anything sounds really good to you. Oscillating would be really good, but it's a little too scientific. Tremoring? Alright, let's do that. Tremoring is good. Okay, so let's grab what you said, but I do think we changed the damage a little bit. Here's the thing. I think it should be... if it's vibrating, I think it's less that it does more damage, more that it's easier to hit and pierce through armor. So... let me know if you like this. If not, we can keep what you said. But, a weapon that gains advantage when attacking a heavily armored target. One d4 additional damage to any creature it hits. So in general, it gets a 1d4 buff, but it gets advantage on hitting armored targets. Hold up, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. Excuse me. Speed's reduced by 10 feet. Oh, this is for something. Here's some ideas. Cursed. Anyone who touches the enemy will get a permanent debuff, max of only 1. Roll 1d6 to determine the effects. Advantage on. Yeah, no, that could be something. For the cursed one. So, what would we call it? We could call it like... we could call it withering. Any creature who attunes to this blade gains a permanent debuff. So one is like... speed's reduced by 10 feet. Disadvantage on death saving throws. -5. What else did you say? Permanent exhaustion 1 is a little too well, I think we roll with something else. That one's a little too powerful. Reduce maximum health by 3d4, so it's a max. Yeah, that's fine. Heavy healing from all sources is a little too powerful as well. That would be really bad. But we could keep it at 6, so it's like the worst one, like the most powerful of them all. Halves all healing received. What's another one we can do? Advantage on perception. It's very specific though, but the curse of curses, yeah. Well, so this is the whole thing about the reason of putting these curse effects is because you can essentially, like, if I grab a sword and I'm like, hey, I want it to have the properties of backfiring and withering, right? Or siphoning and withering. Like, I can throw this as the effect on the curse. Non-magical attacks have advantage on you. It's a lot of managing, and you usually want to avoid that. And usually what you want to do is you want to dampen the player's own ability rather than give everything else, like, a buff towards them. It would be a pain. It would suck so bad for them. So let's see. I mean, we have 6 right here, but I'm not too big on disadvantage on perception. I'd rather have... I mean, what we could do is... like, you lose one of your senses, whether you go blind or deaf or mute. Roll 1d4. What's another one for 4 that we can do? What if you lose the ability to cast magic? Now, I don't have, like, I do plan, like, that you could have ways to go to revert these curses. It's not, like, it's permanent, but not undoable. Or could be reversed. It's just they have to go seek someone to do it, which could be an entire quest in itself. But I think that could be kind of cool. Is, if they get this one, there's the chance that they become mute, blind, deaf, and see how they deal with that, or they lose their ability to cast magic. Now, on a fighter, that might be obsolete, but, I mean, if that's what happens, then so be it, you know? Like, sometimes the rolls do work in your favor. But I think that could be kind of cool. Okay. You could have it so there's a 1 in 10 chance of you not getting benefits from long rest, basically insomnia. That's actually kind of cool. I do like that. Can't really fit it. Let's do it instead of reducing all healing. There we go. Oh, yeah. So I think if they roll a 6 when they take a long rest, they roll a d10. And on a 1, they don't get the long rest because they're just filled with nightmares for that sort of rest. That could be kind of cool. Okay. That's nice. Let's see, what else could we do? This can kind of be a cool blessed one to put on a shield or something. Warding. What if you gain +1 additional armor class for each ally within 5 feet? That'd be kind of cool. Still a nice little small one. Did you see what Keith said for Sword of Wounding? I did not. Sorry. Let me go up. Sword of Wounding deals max HP damage on every strike, so the healing reduction Empty mentioned seems fair enough for a property. Oh, is that like a full thing? We did put the healing in. We could put it back. I just switched it out for the rest because I think that one was a little more role played in a sense. Once per turn, when you hit a creature, you can win the target. It takes 1d4. Alternatively, hit points lost to this weapon's damage can be regained only through a short or long rest, rather than regeneration magic or by any other means. Yeah, but so the difference is that this is still technically, in a sense, temporary, because once you take the short or long rest, the thing that nothing proposed is it halves all healing received, like in general, which would just be a permanent debuff. And that one is like, I'm not against it. It's a really bad one, but it is going... You are really hoping that your player is very understanding and a good player to be able to roleplay that and play into it. You run the risk of a bad player getting that and then throwing a fit on it, if that makes sense. Let's see. A minor variation for a curse channeling. The bonus +1 to ability checks, and the penalty is -2 on concentration saves. So +1 and then -2. I think that's more appropriate, honestly. Yeah, that's fine. Curse of Sentient. The item springs to life and never stops talking. It may also cast Fly on itself to follow you. It can act on. So, I think this is something that I'm not quite sure. It's like one of the only neutral ones, which has to be sentient, right? Because it could either be a curse or a blessing, depending on how you want to play it, but... So, but pretty much this weapon is a sentient being. I mean, that's as far as you can keep it, because the idea is you want to allow the DM to just kind of do whatever they want. True, but this one is annoying and funny. I do like it. I love it. Anything within 60 feet automatically knows it's there. It can also make its own passive perception checks, having a +8 to perception. Yeah, I think it's a good one. It's just, it could easily just be fit within the sentient feat instead of specifically writing that it like moves out, because the sentient just allows you to do that while also working with everything else. But the issue is just where I was running in with curse. Like, this is such a vague term that you can't, if you put one thing, it does it a disservice because it can be so many things. So I think we kind of have this just be like its own thing at the bottom. And then a DM, so like if nothing was DMing and he grabbed this and put a sentient property, he can roleplay that sentient however he wants. This weapon can follow any alignment and may even have the ability to cast spell or class features. So yeah, pretty much it can be good, evil, and cast spells or smite or whatever it wants. Okay, can you make it at least able to cast fly on itself as it wishes? And have a +8 to perception. That's the thing that I'm saying. This is very vague that you can easily just do this, right? It's one of those things where if I specifically write that it can cast fly, then the idea is that like, why out of the 400 or 500 spells am I specifically writing out that it can cast this one? And then it's like, can it cast other ones? Because if so, why would you not put those in? As such. So you kind of just leave it in this sense where it gives the DM the warranty to do what they want to do. Does that make sense? At least how I'm explaining it. I could be explaining it awful in a way. But yeah, I mean, this is absolutely like you can just put sentient on your weapon that you want as a DM and then decide what spells it can cast, right? And also however it acts. That being said, though, you do bring up something that we could do instead, which is magical. This weapon contains innate spells. Contains an innate spells that it may cast. First I was going to say that the player can choose what spells are in the weapon, but it's a little weird. Determined by the DM. I think that's the best way to put it. Curse of Bulk. The armor weighs twice as much while moving through 5 feet of pathways that counts as difficult terrain. In addition to this, any smaller creature can't move through your space. I kind of like that. So what we can do is they would just call it bulk. The weight is doubled. And movement speed is halved. Well, actually, I mean, weight being doubled doesn't mean too much if you're already strong. Odds are you can lift it. We can say that movement speed is halved. Are unable to move through any passageway smaller than 5 feet. 5 feet or smaller. Okay. How about what's the best way to say it? Have you guys read Percy Jackson at all? Do you know how his sword can turn into a pen? So I guess we could just call it polymorph. £5. On speaking a command word, somebody can shift in and out of a small object weighing no less than 5 pounds. All right, that could be kind of cool, right? You have a sword or a dagger, and if it has the polymorph property to it, it can turn into like a ring or an earring or a necklace. What else could we do? Any other ideas you guys got? I think for the most part. Oh, okay, so Keith, I still like the name siphoning that you did. And I kind of want it to be... So any creature... Let's take that property, that blade that you told us about, and put siphoning for that. So any creature hit by this blade is unable to regain it's unable to heal its wounds except for a short or long rest. And instead of siphoning, we can put vampiric for that property. I actually like that a lot. Misshaped. Penalty 10 feet or 15 feet movement reduction bonus. Often sold on the cheap. That could be cool. I think then we can get rid of bulk and put misshaped. And it's reduced by, let's do 15 feet. You're unable to move through passageways. Yeah, this is good. Gravitational armor attribute. Any creature within 100 feet of you at the start of your turn automatically gets pulled 10 feet towards you if they are not larger than you. It would need a saving throw, and it seems more like a spell. Swinging for whips, you gain an additional 5 feet of range with the whip and +1 attack. You may also attack a wall and be instantly pulled to you. Well, I think one thing that kind of would work is like rappling, right? Or pulling. Rippling, no. Grappling? Chaining, maybe? I don't know if this was down for... I guess we could call it swinging. I like that you gain an additional 5 feet for your attack range. And... oh, you get pulled towards them. Got you. Okay, I'm cool with that, but it'll take your action. I think it's a good way to balance it. Um, it could be swinging. Another option is, damn it, I just had the word on my mouth. Indiana Jones style. I mean, swinging is good. Another neutral one could kind of be like a tethering, but that's kind of more of like grappling. I just don't want people to be confused with like the grappling condition where you like grab someone and technically grapple them. That's the only, I thought about that too, but I was like, it's gonna get some confusion. So I think swinging works. Let's think. We could do piercing. No, I guess no, that doesn't make sense. Let's do divine. No, doubling healing might be too powerful. I'm not sure what to do with divine. Heavy for nets, an additional 5 feet of range, no disadvantage in melee range. When catching someone, the saving throw is 18 or 10. That's like a specific weapon for like the net. Additional 1d6 healing. It doesn't sound. I want it more to be like it's blessed. Like the divine property is that it's something that essentially the upper planes bless a weapon with. And then on the reverse, there's something that the lower planes do. But I guess divine is always, it could be good or bad in a sense. L1996, welcome. Welcome. Nice to see you here. How goes it? It goes well. We are creating weapon properties for D&D. We're having a good time. Nets are sadly useless. They usually are, and it sucks. It's very few situations where it can be used. I feel for you. We could kind of do like a mythic forged. Let's do mythic. And I think this is like essentially the most powerful we could give a weapon. If it's mythic, this is a weapon in our worlds that is meant to be of legend. So it's like straight up, like, hey, this is Excalibur, right? Like, everybody knows this weapon. I like nets and they should be better. I agree. It's just hard to really think of a practical situation for them. I mean, in real life, they're practical, right? But it's like in D&D, there's so many spells and so many features that just let you get away from stuff that it just kind of like... I've had one player who got netted by like the DMs, like it was like a gladiator character, and they just misty stepped through it, and that whole net was just kind of useless. So I've been slowly creating some interesting items for my homebrew Borderlands 5e campaign. Borderlands sounds awesome. That would be a lot of fun. within the realm. Okay, so Mythic is just the most powerful thing. Like, it's the best weapons. We'll keep it at that. But Elm, how's this? When are you starting this Borderlands campaign? Is it pretty soon, or has it already started? Borderlands is a great fun time to be at. Okay, so do we have anything else to put? Well, in D&D, they are just always useless. 10 for a saving throw, permanent disadvantage. Max range of 15. It's just sad. Yeah. So, the thing is that, like, it can be good against martial characters, but... Oh, something we could do is suppressing. And essentially, suppressing is a chance to, like, essentially lock out your magic. So I'll say on a successful hit. Oh, you guys can't see what's going on. On a successful hit, target must make a spellcasting saving throw. On a successful save, creature is immune to its effects for 24 hours. So, it's like on the first time they hit it, they make the check. If they succeed, as most things in D&D, they're immune for a day. That way it's not just done every time. So my latest work is I'm creating 3 red text items. If unfamiliar with the Borderlands series, it's basically the unique weapons with the reference text that relate to the effects they do. Okay. These 3 red text items are linked by one song reference, and that is Oh Hello Soldier, Poet King songs. Ooh. The most notable song in Borderlands for me is Short Change Hero. It was like in the Borderlands 2 trailer. It's iconic. These do sound like really cool items though. They could at least buff them. I agree. I just like, I'm not too vindictive on them for it because I myself just can't really think of a way to buff nets without taking away magic. Because that's always the issue, is that like you throw the net on you, but Misty Step is a 2nd level spell that most people could just kind of cast like that, and they're just kind of away from it. It's just like the idea of restraining in general. Not really. It's still a DC 10 strength or just 3 damage from its NEC net. Net is bad against martial too. Yeah, they could easily just succeed the strength check. I get you. Knockback stick, quarterstaff on a successful hit. They take 1,000 feet backwards is wild. Oh, isn't a song in Borderlands. It's just a song reference for the red text and its effects. Got you. Okay, yeah. Now I'm picking up what you're putting down. However, knockback is not a bad idea. What could we call it? I guess knockback. Let's just copy this. Actually, let's just say once per long rest, you can cause... this must be used before the attack roll is made. Actually, if it's once per long rest, I think it's fine. Okay. Minecraft reference knockback 2. Call it knockback 3. That's a good one. So far I have a bandit greatsword for the soldier, which starts off 1 rank higher for damage before it uses its corporate effect, and gains charges on to use on spells while within 60 feet of different creatures, who are also tuned to the poet and the king item respectively. Okay. Hold up. So oh, okay, got it. Now I see. You definitely have like a spider web of systems that we would have to go down. So I got a little lost there for a second. Okay, so did we, for the most part, choose the spells we like? Are we satisfied? Sorry, the weapon properties. Cunning, short weapon upon a successful hit, you could steal some coins. Straight robbing them. I mean that could be kind of cool. Cunning. So, we'll say that this weapon gains advantage on stealth checks to keep it hidden. Is it a curse? It's so the idea of the blessings and the curse is less of, is it a blessing or a curse to the person using it? It's more of like, what source of enchantment is it? Does that kind of make sense? So like a weapon could have cursed properties but still be very favorable to you. Hence the like the vampiric. It's using like essentially a cursed form of magic to do that. And so that's the thing about cunning. It's like a darker side, almost like a light side versus a dark side, if that makes sense. However, curses are definitely more likely to have negative effects on you. Hence why people are afraid to use them for the most part. And blessings are more likely to help you, as such why people love them. Oh, so I guess backfiring. I forgot I still had this here. All right. I definitely think we'll think of more as time goes on. But this is kind of fun. All right. With that, though, I don't know if anyone was here, but at the beginning I was saying that this is going to be a relatively short stream. We have 9 more minutes for the planned thing, so I think I'll call it just a little bit early, but I am happy to answer some last minute questions if people have it. So go ahead and feel free to ask. It replaces prosthetic parts in... Oh, sorry, I missed Elm's message. Yeah, I have Corporation Magic Tech effects as well as gun rules. New loot tables that are level locked, and even a new subclass for each that's designed for the Borderlands setting. I think the subclass approach is a really, really good one. Like making your own subclasses that fit it perfectly. I've wanted to do like a Star Wars campaign once, and we only met for like 1 session, but turns out someone already like when I went to go look it up, someone already made it. It's a team of people, and what they did is actually remarkable. I've seen this, and like even going down to the races they've made. Hold up. Let me shrink myself so you guys can see. I'm just gonna move myself over here. Just so you guys can see like the amount of work that these people did to make like D&D or Star Wars imported to D&D is crazy. This is, sorry, let me display all of it. You can see all the races that they've wrote out. So they did the point is they did the same thing with the classes. You go to archetypes, you have like all these other ones. So Elm, I mean, you could check out if somebody's already done it. And if so, you can check out what they did and see if you like it. If not, it's perfectly fine. Every group's going to run it differently. So, yeah. That could be a great source of help. So my main thing is I need... Oh, RIP. Sorry, nothing. We will be live tomorrow, though. And hopefully a lot coming in the next coming weeks. That's always good news. So you were saying it replaces prosthetic parts in D&D. It renders the hand useless, but it allows you to quick draw weapons and never have it dropped against your will. Oh, okay. So you're saying like essentially making like a mechanical arm. I don't know if that's kind of what you mean, or like it's a weapon that is your arm. It could work if you're okay with that technology being in your world. For some DMs, when they make their homebrew campaigns, they don't really go too far into like that technological advancement. So they would kind of be against it. So my main thing is I need level 1 through 3 spells that are defensive retaliation based for the king items. Because the song for the king section is, there will come a ruler whose brow is blade in thorn. The defense ones, shield is the most popular. This is a first level spell. Pretty much simply use your reaction for it. When someone tries to attack you, you get +5 bonus to your AC. And it lasts until the end. Oh, the start of your next turn. This is used a lot. You do have Hellish Rebuke. This is a really good one, which is that if someone hits you, you could just pretty much do some damage back to them. Counterspell Silvery Barbs. Yeah, those are also really good. But Warforged, yeah, no, it could work for Warforged. I have ran into 2 DMs though that have, for them personally, they're like, hey, I'm banning Warforges because in my campaign it doesn't make sense to have them. So it's up to the DM is what I'm saying. These are one of the coolest races in my opinion though. I think it's a disservice if you don't have them. They are so dope. Anyways, I'll be off. No worries. Have a great night. Hope to see you tomorrow and onward. Good luck on that campaign, and I hope it's a banger. But with that, they are my favorite races. Yeah, they're in my top 5 for sure. I love Warforges. They're so cool. You can do so many things with them. farewell for Elm. Yeah, have a great one, Elm. Take care. Happy to see you here. So there was like this one shot we did. It was kind of like Disney themed, and our DM was telling us to like choose like make characters that were like children of specific Disney characters, and I tried to be a Warforge. That was the son. I'll pull it up right now. Of Lightning McQueen. He would not allow me to. I wonder if somebody has made their own art of it, though. Well, it's not loading, so we tried. Completely denied my idea. I usually, when it comes to a full campaign, I make very serious characters, but when it comes to a one-shot, I'm all aboard that meme train. It's so fun. I know you just go with the craziest ideas. But with that, everybody, have yourselves a great night. I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy a nice cup of coffee. And enjoy it. I said enjoy it twice, but that's how good it is, right? Alright, take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!